Minister, I too want to welcome you into the House today on what is, I'm sure, a very busy day for you and for everybody here in Leinster House. Also want to thank the Cathaoirleach for selecting this particular commencement matter. Minister, McAuley Court is a lovely development of 10 units, 10 houses, 10 family homes, just on the grounds of St Vincent's Hospital in Athy. It's something I've been following for a number of years, ever since I was probably first elected as a councillor to Kildare County Council. At the moment, there are 10 units in this development, 4 of which are occupied, and I'll give you some more detail on that. But there are 6 unoccupied units. Older persons, sheltered accommodation, unoccupied, at least for 10 years, which in a housing crisis is the answer I'm asking, like you just asked, Minister, is why? In March of this year, Stage 4 announcing funding was mentioned by government, which was welcomed by all. I welcomed and I will welcome any investment in housing in Kildare South, given the crisis that we have there at the moment. And I was told that this was the be-all and end-all, that they had identified an AHB. The AHB had agreed to do the work and take over the development and running of the 10 units, and that both Kildare County Council and HSE were on board. I've been following this up since then, Minister, and there hasn't been an installation put in, heating upgraded. In fact, the residents of the estate don't know when they're actually going to get the development. I've visited a number of these houses. I've spoken to the 4 gentlemen over a number of years of who actually live in those houses at the moment, and the conditions that the 4 are living in is totally and utterly unacceptable, Minister. They're spending in the winter months between €400 and €500 on ESB every 2 months. These are 4 pensioners we're talking about. They're spending this money because they cannot heat their homes. They have to turn on their storage heaters 2 hours before they go to bed in order to heat the room that they're actually sleeping in. And that, combined with the fact that they're already paying €60 a week rent, €45 in 2 other cases, is, in my opinion, totally and utterly unacceptable. You know, when we look at what we need to do for our older generation, older population, Minister, McAuley Court is a prime example of what we can do. We've 10 houses, six of them unoccupied, 4 occupied. It's in a great location on the grounds of St Vincent's Hospital in Athy. It's right in the heart of the town where people can meet friends, socialise, etc. This is the ideal model of what older persons living should be in this country. Yet, for at least 5 years now, we've had 6 vacant premises there in the middle of a housing crisis. I hope today, Minister, that you're going to bring some good news to the 4 residents. I hope you're going to bring some good news for the many, many people who've contacted me and every public representative in Kildare South who want to get in, maybe downsize, but also want to get in and become the family home member of the 6 vacant units. Because I'm struggling to get answers. I'm told by Kildare County Council that the blockage is with the HSE. I haven't had any good news yet from the HSE. So I'm hoping that today, in your response, Minister, you will be able to give good news to the 4 residents and also to the people of Kildare South that there is hope for this housing crisis, that there is hope for those that are on a long, long list in Kildare County Council, and for those that want sheltered housing, and that, most importantly, Minister, for those that need sheltered housing at this time.
Senator Ward, Minister.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach. I'd like to thank Senator Wall for raising this proposed refurbishment, the necessary refurbishment of the social housing scheme at McAuley Court, adjacent to the grounds of Vincent's Hospital in Athy, County Kildare. As the Senator is aware, the age-friendly social housing development was initially funded under the Department of Housing's Capital Assistance Scheme some 30 years ago. And the development provided 10 high-quality new homes at that time, 8 one-bed bungalows and 2 two-bed bungalows to cater for elderly residents. In addition to the 10 homes, there is also a communal facility for, activity room, laundry facilities. Right. I understand that the approved housing body originally involved in the development, Athy Voluntary Housing Association, has ceased operation, which unfortunately resulted in some of the homes becoming vacant and all of the homes requiring significant capital investment to make them fit for purpose for the intended tenants. But as the Senator is aware, there is no shortage of capital at the moment. The difficulty is always delivery and actually making things happen. However, thanks to the work of Kildare County Council, I understand that another AHB, Tintón, Carlow Voluntary Housing Association, is now to take over the operation of the housing scheme under a lease arrangement with Kildare County Council. In the context of this new management arrangement, which I assume they're working very quickly to deliver, the Council requested the Department of Housing to provide additional funding to upgrade the properties, which they have done. Given that the site where the houses is located is part owned both, as you say, by the HSE and Kildare County Council, the takeover and completion of the refurbishment works by Tintón can only occur once the HSE transfers their portion of the site to Kildare County Council. I understand that this process is now in train and also involves some Kildare County Council owned land being transferred to the HSE. I do hope that it is done efficiently and in an extraordinarily timely way, recognising the necessity for the development of housing and recognising how inexplicable it would be for this to go slowly. Legal aspects can take time to be finalised, but that's not an excuse for leaving things go for a very long time. On the upgrade to the properties that the Department of Housing is funding with the Kildare County Council, the following are the intended main works. Energy upgrade works, replace windows in the heating system, plus dry line external walls. Mechanical and electrical, rewire the homes and install mechanical ventilation. Replace internal fittings and finishes. Replace kitchens, bathrooms, floor coverings, internal doors and redecoration. Replace external fittings. Replace fascia, soffits and downpipes and carry out necessary repairs to the roof. The Department of Housing is providing capital funding of over €900,000 for those works. The funding approval is very much welcomed, but as the Senator knows, it really is all about the delivery. I understand that once site transfers have been concluded, which I hope will be extremely soon, that will allow Tintón to procure a design team and thereafter to proceed to tender for the works. But here is yet another example of the need for a more streamlined, efficient delivery service.
Very much, Minister. Senator Wall.
Yeah, thanks, Cathaoirleach. Minister, I really appreciate your detailed response. And you are correct, it is about delivery. I'm very much aware and welcome the fact that the government have provided $900,000 for the upgrade of these homes and the provision of 6 new family homes as well. But when you visit these pensioners in their homes and you see the mould coming out through the wall, I can't accept that the HSE are delaying this. I can't accept that government are allowing that to happen. And the ask I have of you today, Minister, is that you would contact the HSE on all our behalves, and particularly the people of Kildare South, and ask them to move, to get the document signed. I believe that's the only obstacle that's in our way at the moment. And we all know what legal documents can take time, but this has been taken, as you mentioned, these are 30-year-old houses. We have a lot of people who want to get in there. All it requires, in my understanding, is a signature on a document, and then Tintón, as you explained, will take over the running of these homes. So I beg you on behalf of so many people, Minister, the 4 tenants and the 6 that will come in, that contact is made, and I really appreciate your time today, Minister.
Thank you very much, Senator Ward. Minister.
I will certainly ask the relevant department to do that, but it is by no means the first time that I've come across this case. For example, there is proposed housing for veterans of the Defence Forces in Limerick and in Cork, which is subject to similar transfers and process delays, which I find intolerable. These things are incredibly urgent, incredibly important, and while this process isn't going on for 30 years, it is not acceptable. And I think, as public representatives, we see the mould on the walls, we see the gaps in delivery, and it is so frustrating to have a society and an economy where we have so much funding available and to see inexplicable delays. When things are in train and they're moving, that's fine. But to see things sitting on desks and not being resolved with the same urgency that we see the mould on the walls is just intolerable as a public representative, and I totally understand your frustration.
Thank you very much, Minister, and we all in Shannon wish those residents the very best and hope that this issue is resolved in a timely manner. Our last commencement today is from Senator Sherlock. Senator Sherlock.